Oh, I have had 76 rounds of chemotherapy. Um, and it's been tough.
You're watching the Spotlight Network, starring Hollywood's newsman, Logan Crawford.
They now believe a single member.
He works with TV and film legends. And now, Logan's shining the spotlight on the world's top emerging authors and creators.
International were abducted.
This is Spotlight with Logan Crawford, streaming on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire TV.
I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, we're sharing a powerful true story of courage, love, and survival. The name of the book, Here Today, Gone Tomorrow. It is written by a terrific author. Her name is Sue Buzzeo. And Sue takes readers through her emotional journey after being diagnosed with breast cancer, just as she was beginning a new chapter in her life. Her story is one of heartbreak, humor, hope, and triumph as she faces chemotherapy, loss, and love with unshakable faith and honesty. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today. We thank the team at Books to Life Marketing for helping us put her on TV today. And we ask viewers like you to support authors like her by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing her amazing book. The links are below this interview. Sue, thank you so much for joining me here today.
Thank you for having me. Real pleasure.
It's a pleasure to have you on the show. Your journey with cancer unfortunately began decades ago, back in 2004. Take us back to that time and your initial diagnosis and how you responded to that.
So I had met a guy who I fell in love with, and we just decided to move in together. It was the day of the move, and I had felt a lump in my right breast, but I had ignored it. My mom came to help us with the move, and I asked my mom to come upstairs. I said, do you mind having a little look? I've got a lump, but I don't think it's anything. Tell me what you think. She felt my breast and she said, you need to get that checked out. So we got it checked out, and within 10 days, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And I was told that I needed to have surgery, and then followed by chemotherapy and radiotherapy, and then on a drug treatment for 5 years. So that took me through from 2004 through to 2010. And that's when I went through my first diagnosis, and I was terrified. Yeah. I was shocked. This was the beginning of a new life, a new chapter, as you said. We had everything to look forward to. And this wasn't how I wanted to start our relationship. And I did say to Mark, this isn't what you bought into. So if you want to go, you want to walk away, that's absolutely fine. I've got no problem with that. We can still remain friends. I won't feel any less towards you. But if you don't want to walk, then you go, and I will do this by myself. And he said, not a cat in hell's chance am I walking away. I'm with you through this. And so we started the journey together.
Amazing, amazing. Couples vow to be together through better or worse. Unfortunately, the worst came for you right away as that relationship was just beginning. And Mark, thank God, was a person of character who was there for you during that hard time, right?
Yeah. He has been amazing all through the journey. He has supported me, loved me, accepted me, bald head, or with hair.
Yeah.
It didn't matter to him. He's just been an amazing husband. Couldn't have asked for anything better.
Yeah. And flash forward to today, you look healthy, you look great, but unfortunately the doctors tell you your cancer emerged again?
Yeah. I went into hospital in 2017 with pancreatitis, and they found some gallstones, so they removed my gallbladder. In 2018, the pancreatitis came back, but they couldn't tell me why it had come back. And then in 2019, it came back again. I thought, is this going to keep happening year after year? Because pancreatitis is not something that you want to have. And Mark had come to visit me, and all of a sudden there was a whole crowd of guys and ladies and gentlemen in white coats. And this lady, she smiled at me and she said, I'm a breast consultant. To which I immediately replied, no, I'm pancreas. I'm not breast. You must need somebody else in the room. And she just smiled and she just said, no, it's you I need to speak to. I'm a breast consultant and I'm here to tell you that sadly, your breast cancer has come back in your bones. And I was just totally blown away. She said she'd come back the next day because obviously we would have questions, but she wanted us to have some time together to sort of process the information that she'd given us. And she left. And Mark and I were just totally dumbfounded. It's back. We'd fought so hard the first time round. How come it's back? And we immediately phoned some friends in Canada and gave them the news. And they just prayed with us and said, look, whatever happens, we're with you and we'll be with you through this journey. So that was over 6 years ago. And the statistics weren't good for survival. 18% could get to 5 years were what the statistics told me that day. But here I am. I'm just over 6 years and I'm still here and I'm still fighting.
Thank God. Thank God you're still here. Thank God you're still fighting. And so are you going through medical treatments frequently, monthly, quarterly? Tell us what your battle's like now.
So I have had 76 rounds of chemotherapy. And it's been tough, as anybody who's been through chemotherapy. Thankfully, this time I didn't lose my hair. But obviously the first time I did. I've been on first-line treatment, then the chemotherapy stopped working after 4 years. Then I moved to second-line treatment. And about a month ago, I saw my oncologist and she said, I'm sorry to tell you, but your second-line treatment has stopped working. So I'm going to take you off chemo for a month. So I am currently having my little break for a month. And then I start some more aggressive chemotherapy, probably in about 2-3 weeks' time. So I've got that to come.
Amazing. The battle still rages. You're still here. That's the good part. I'm sorry that you've gone through such, unbelievable suffering. And what's your message to women out there? I know the book started out, there's a way past this and I'm better.
Sure.
And then it took on a rewrite, right? Tell us a little bit how you amended the book, how you amend the message, and what your message is to readers.
So I didn't change much from the original text that I'd written because that still stands today. I wrote part 2 of the book, which is about the cancer coming back and how I've dealt with that. But I think the message remains the same. Don't let cancer own you. It doesn't own you. And try to not let cancer take every day that you have. I think my mantra has always been, I want to live to live. I'm not here to live to die. For everybody, we die at some point. Exactly. We don't know what our death date is, if I can put it that way. So I'm not here living on death row, thinking about it all the time. I'm trying to have a positive mindset. And okay, my chemotherapy stopped working, so we try a different one. That worked for 2 years. So I'm now going to try a different one, and I'm going to keep on trying. And throughout all of this, I have a faith. And I do believe that Jesus, he's not just Jesus, the God that parted the Red Sea, the person that was with Daniel in the lion's den, the person who raised Jesus from the dead. My God is still alive today. And I believe that my God can heal me. And hasn't happened yet, but that's okay. But I believe it can happen one day. And I'm just waiting for that day. And one day maybe I'll be back on your show and telling you
That
all
would be
about it.
wonderful. That would be wonderful. I'll keep you in my prayers as well. And you're so right. I mean, all of us are dying. I mean, from the moment we're
Sure.
born, we're dying. So if you want to live a pessimistic life focused on when you're going to die, and some people do. Some
Yeah, they
people
do.
are obsessed with every ailment, every, whatever in their lives, and they don't focus on living. And, I don't know how much time I've got. I could step in front of a bus tomorrow and that's it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we're
Yeah.
all here on borrowed time. We're all here by the grace of God. And
Yeah.
so it is important to live. Tell us how important your children have been in your battle and helping you cope with your diagnosis and your treatment and the impact on them.
I think, again, that's a message for anybody with cancer. It's not just about you, it's about those around you because you're not the only one going through the journey. They all go through the journey with you. Um, and I remember people used to come into the house and, how are you, Sue? And
Mm.
I would say, and by the way, Mark is either having a tough time or Mark's okay. But I just wanted people to remember that husbands and wives of those who are going through cancer go through it again. And my children have been amazing. I mean, it's the most heartbreaking moment when you have to tell your children, I have cancer. And it felt even worse when I had to tell them it's come back,
Mm.
um, because stage 4 cancer for many people equals death, and death pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Um, but my kids have been great. My daughter, Mickey, she says, I'm your positive Penelope, Mum. So, whenever you're having a down day, speak to me on the phone and we'll talk about all the positives and the things that you have. And my children are huge positives in my life.
Mm.
Um, my son, Andrew, has recently got married. He eloped in
Mm.
Las Vegas and came home and told me that he was married. And then she got pregnant
Wow.
a year later. And the first thing I thought is, I'm not going to see my grandson. I need to stay alive to see my
Mhm.
grandson. And we've just celebrated his first birthday.
Wow.
So, all these things around. My other son is in San Diego. He's living away from me, but we phone every fortnight
Mm.
and chat. And, I've said to him, if you need to come home, I'll tell you. But right
Mm.
now I'm doing okay.
Yeah.
And he's very positive. And, are you eating your broccoli, mother? Or are you eating this? Or are you eating that? And I'm
Yeah.
like, yes, I am. Well, I don't eat it all the time, but I try my best. Um,
Exactly.
so
Exactly.
yeah, they're hugely important to me.
Yeah.
And I love them to pieces.
Absolutely, absolutely. Aside from the chemotherapy and all of the other medical treatments you've had, is there anything you try to do holistically, diet-wise? You mentioned the broccoli, maybe even attitudinal, uh, in your struggle, in your battle.
Um, I know that there are different holistic treatments out there, but for me, no, I haven't tried them. What
Mhm.
I've tried to do is I've tried to exercise as much as I can,
Yeah.
because obviously when you've got cancer that's come into your bones, although it's not bone cancer, it's breast cancer in your bones. Took me a while to get my head around breast cancer in
Mhm.
my bones. That doesn't sound right. Um, and it's also moved into both of my lungs as well.
Mhm.
So days can be difficult, but I try to. I've got a beautiful dog. He's my assistant's dog,
Mhm.
and I try to go for a walk with him as often as I can. So I try to get fresh air. I try to eat healthy. Try to have my broccoli, um, and looking at foods that will help and staying away from foods that don't.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I'm just trying to live a healthy life as best that I can.
Well, you're doing a great job and you're keeping your spirits up. You're keeping our spirits up because you're living with
Sure.
vitality, living with hope. And that little grandson who you just saw turn 1, hopefully you see him enter kindergarten before long.
Hopefully.
That would be wonderful as well. Setting those goals, I think, are very, very helpful. And keeping your humor up. Even the name of this book, Hair Today, Gone Tomorrow, shows that
Yeah.
you have a little bit of a sense of humor about it all. And in this book, Hair Today, Gone Tomorrow, Sue Buzzeo takes readers through her emotional journey after being diagnosed with breast cancer, just as she was beginning a new chapter in her life. Her story is an amazing story, one of heartbreak, humor, hope, and triumph as she faces chemotherapy, loss, and love with unshakable faith and honesty. Sue, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thank you for having me. It's been
I
a pleasure.
appreciate your time, your courage. Keep up the good fight. We will keep you in our prayers, me and all of our viewers.
Thank
For the
you.
folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time.